All right. My name is Antavius Brown.
I'm Rosie.
I'm Brian.
All right. So, in our textbook, we read about structured problem solving approaches, and it's pretty self explanatory. It's when you have a plan about going and solving a problem. It's sort of a series of steps, such as identifying the problem, analyzing the problem, and developing a creative solution to the problem. Um, just step by step. So, why is having a structured problem solving approach better than not having a structured approach?
Sometimes in problem solving, you'll be bouncing around, brainstorming when you should be really getting to the root of the problem. So the structured format of doing that will help you guide you to the means to the end.
I also agree with that. I think that if you have a plan, that way you know how to solve the problem and not just come up with the problem. That way you can stick through the steps and it can help you solve a better problem, I guess, a better solution for your problem.
Yeah, I agree with that. Like, if you just go about solving a problem without a plan, you might not even solve the problem. Also in the book, talks about having rules and norms in the group, and so rules are just basic guidelines to that decides what your groups are supposed to do and how you behave, and norms are just basic shared values and beliefs that you guys have, and yeah. So what do you think are some pros and cons with having rules and norms in a group?
I think a pro having roles in a group is that at least you assign every person in your group to do a job, and that way you know that they're in charge of that job. But a con of that too could be you're wanting them to do that job, but then they might not do it, so that means that more work on you. But having a guided rules and stuff can also make the group be more organized and not everybody's doing different things, so that you guys all spread it out, I guess, in a way.
In some aspects, a lot of times you get key roles as who's going to be the project lead, the helper, who's going to be taking notes, or in some cases there might be some people that might be straying off. It keeps them on track of the whole project or the problem at hand, developing a backwards planning process, and having each assigned individual task, like Rosie said, it's good, but we also have to make sure that whoever's taking charge of the project actually allows for leeway for either something's behind schedule or ahead of schedule. They can always adapt and overcome the problems.
Yeah, I definitely agree with that. We also talked about cohesiveness. It's in the book as well, and cohesiveness is when members in a group feels connected to each other, and it causes the members just to feel a part of the group and makes them not want to leave the group. So, why is it important to build cohesiveness in a group?
The big one is in communication is strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, threats, and trends. How we develop individual traits within each individual in the team will help create a business practice or help you solve your problem much quicker, because you might have somebody that can write really good, you might have a good presentator. It's all the variables, and especially the knowledge base of each one. The weakness, I take it, is I always want to make the weakest person the strongest person and share the leadership roles, so everyone has that experience over their course of their life.
Yeah, and I relate too, with sports and stuff, having that teamwork and that motivation can make us bond together and work harder, and that way we know what each of our struggles are, and we can get better, and then us win games, I guess you could say.
Yeah, definitely. I can compare with that. With my basketball team, we have to all be a part and be cohesive, and that's what helps us win games and just be better.
And this is the team dynamics is critical through the military of 21 years. You have one team, one fight. Their objective and goal is to work as a unified, synced team that is just phenomenal. And that's the approach of the cohesion portion of that. And it's so phenomenal. You get the strength so powerful that you're just got a rhythm, and it makes your timeline so much easier to get stuff done quicker.
Yeah. And a final question. So another thing in the book was just about different roles that are assigned to like people in a group, and a formal role is one of those roles. A formal role is assigned to someone in a group by other group members, and it's usually to establish order, like the lead person. So explain a time in your life where you've been assigned a formal role, and like explain.
Last time I could check was like softball wise, when I was a freshman and there were sophomores that weren't leaders, and so coach wanted me to be that leader even though I wasn't like a sophomore, and usually sophomores are supposed to be the leaders. So like when I was formed to get the formal role, I guess you could say, like I had to make sure like the team was being motivated and actually like, wanted to be there and step up and show like the sophomores like this is what you should be doing. It's kind of hard like coming from a freshman and sophomore kids. I'm supposed to be looking up to them to know like what to do on a team, but it's also good too because like with me I can push myself to become better and be that leader that they never had. So I know.
In the process of team, it's very vital to have roles, and for that it's always good to rotate them, as I stated earlier. But the big one is to keep moving forward in the process, and if you don't have that process, everyone will be looking around who's doing what, and it's like, well, someone's got to step up. But in the same token is over my course of my leadership of 30 years is I take everybody, we're going to rotate the leadership, and we're going to do round robin so everyone gets a fair shake of having that building experience for themselves. And again, it's all about process. The big thing of the team dynamics is getting the process out there, knowing what the solution is what has to be done, and the timeline that you have to do it in.
Yeah, I definitely agree with that. Assigning different roles to everybody in the group allows everybody to have a certain
And
responsibility.
it's just one of the things, you just ask for volunteers, who wants to do what, and if no one wants to do it, sometimes you just got to take charge and then sign roles. And it's like, okay, everyone's doing this, what your role is, this is what you're going to do. Next week, if they want to change it up, then they can change it up, because it's one of the things you got to keep the process going without effectively communicating. The tides would turn. And sometimes you get groups of team members, they say, hey Rosie, how you been doing? But you be talking, and there just be side talks. So the big thing is to keep everyone on track, keep focused, and just really develop different models of leadership, because you got passive, assertiveness, someone that, you might be a turtle like me, that's really slow, that doesn't comprehend stuff. I might be the weakest link, but again, working with other teammates can greatly enhance that. My daughter and Marvin was D average, but then all of a sudden he was a B plus average because he had mentorship. So it does help in a team role aspect of getting stuff done.
Yep. Thank you guys. That wraps up
Oh,
our
you're welcome.
conversation.
Thank you.